Today's episode is brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics is the world's largest collection of official fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. If you enjoy our show and are looking to buy a new jersey, sweatshirt, or hat, you can support us by going to podgo.co/fanatics and getting 25% off your next order. That's podgo.co/fanatics. Fanatics, officially licensed to everything. Welcome back to the Bro Country Podcast. My name is Joey, and as always, I am joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris here tonight. What's going on over there?
Not a whole lot, my man. Just enjoying the weekend, as always, when we record these things. How you been?
That's right. I've been good. It's gonna be another good one tonight.
Yeah,
what we got planned?
We've got an exciting one tonight, guys. We have a up-and-coming artist coming on for an interview here in just a bit, but before we get started with that, we wanted to go over some of the news out of Nashville over this past week.
Yeah, man. What's going on in Nashville this week?
You know, there wasn't a whole lot, but there was enough to make mention of. Something that I thought was pretty cool was Jason Aldean did a live stream concert, which was a sponsored event by Wolf Moon. Did you get a chance?
I did not get the chance to watch it, but I know you were giving me updates on it last night.
Yeah, I gave you some of the updates, man. It was cool to see Aldean live again, you know, because it's been a minute. But man, he was rusty. I'll say that. But,
Did you see? I heard they were going to premiere the video for the new single. Did you get to watch any of that?
Yeah. The video was good. They sang it and then they premiered the video, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that out.
So it's always good when we get quote live music, even though it has to be virtual now.
Oh no, goodness gracious, man.
But something else happened this week. Morgan Wallen dropped those 2 Target exclusives and the Dangerous Session version of Sand in My Boots on streaming platforms.
Yeah, that didn't take long, did it?
Did not take long at all. I was surprised that he did it so quick.
Yeah, I really wasn't surprised. It's I mean, the way that the numbers on Billboard work is it's your top. They change it depending on how many songs are on the album, but the number that's reflected in the album sales is the top. I think it's 10 or 12 tracks of the week. So if he can release 2 new songs this next week, that'll boost the album up even more. Which obviously it doesn't need boosted at all. It's a juggernaut. But I mean, but it is kind of odd that they had people rush out and buy the vinyl and buy the CDs at Target and then just 2 weeks later release those songs on streaming platforms.
And I mean, if you guys listen to the show, you know I was victimized by the Target scam of going out and buying the CD and not having the 2 bonus tracks on there because of the error that happened, and then I had to contact Target's customer service and blah blah blah. You can go back a couple episodes to hear that story, but yeah, it was weird to me. I thought they would at least wait a month, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway,
he can do no wrong, so they're just doing what they're doing to get the stuff into the fans' hands.
I was going to say the fan groups are going crazy for it, so it's working.
Absolutely, man.
But speaking of Sand in My Boots, though, did you hear that was almost recorded by Luke Bryan?
I did. I would say this is probably the first time that there's been a song that Luke Bryan wanted to record and he didn't get it. I would think that this that he's probably gotten all of the songs in Nashville that he wanted for the last 6, 7, 8 years, and now Morgan snatched this one out from under him.
Yeah, and rightfully so, I think, because Morgan did it very well. So
he did, but I mean, I think Luke Bryan would have. I think he would have killed it too. I mean, it's got a Luke Bryan, Kenny Chesney, Morgan Wallen feel to it. So I think, I mean, Morgan kills it, but I think Luke would have done a good job on it too.
For sure. No, I don't think he would have done bad with it, but
yeah.
I thought that was an interesting fact, and I think it was on a podcast or a radio show. Hardy and Morgan were talking, and Morgan said something along the lines of "Sorry, not sorry, Luke," or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny, but then in other news, Chris Christopherson announced his retirement, finally.
Yeah, I saw that. He quietly retired last year. All of the kind of press releases were of his kids because they kind of are taking over his estate. So I mean, Chris Christopherson's 84, so
Hmm.
I would say that maybe he's having some struggles. But I mean, he's Christopherson's kind of the silent guy in Nashville of really the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I mean, he's one of, if not the best known songwriter in the history of Nashville. He wrote some of Johnny Cash's biggest stuff. He wrote for Janis Joplin. He wrote for Waylon and Merle, and he was part of the Highwaymen. And he's a country music Hall of Famer. So, I mean, what a career that guy had.
Absolutely a great career, and we hope the best for him in his retirement, and he gets to get some rest and just enjoy life from this point. So,
Absolutely, man.
but yeah, we got
What?
some.
Tell us about the new church music that's coming out.
I was gonna say we got some new church this week. So the we talked about this last week. The white vinyl. We found out the "And," which is the second of the 3 discs that are coming out for the triple album, was only on white vinyl and only exclusive to the fan club.
You snagged one, right?
Oh man, yeah, it was ridiculous. It was like such a money grab for me, but I love church, so I don't even care. I signed
That's
up for
right.
the church choir, got my quote discounted vinyl of Mr. Misunderstood, which was like the second edition red pressing with the special edition guitar pick that comes with it. And
Mr. Misunderstood is definitely one of our favorite albums, and we're probably gonna have an episode next week on that one, right?
spoiler alert,
That's
yep.
right.
But yeah, we'll be talking Mr. Misunderstood next week. But so I cashed in on my discounted vinyl, which was still about the same price after shipping. And then I pre-ordered the triple album on the white vinyl. So, Mr. Church, I hope this is a slamming album, which I'm sure it will be because Eric's great. But
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
I'm kidding. It's going to be worth the money for sure. I love Eric, and I know you do too. So,
Yeah, and
but
Eric might be the leading guy to bring vinyl back to country. You know what I mean? Like he has been huge into vinyl since the start. They do those like you were talking about, like first pressing, second pressing, different colors. Like vinyl has just been a huge part of Eric's career. So it doesn't surprise me that they would do some big exclusives here to kick off the new triple album.
yeah. And then Thursday, when the pre-sale was on for the church choir, they also dropped "Heart on Fire," which is one of the tracks from the triple album, and it was
Yeah, it's a
pretty
good
good.
one. Yeah, it's good.
I liked it. Joanne in the background,
Yeah, yeah. You
killing
can
it
always
as
hear her
always.
slaying it in the background on these songs.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it live, man. They're gonna blow the roof off these arenas.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 hour shows.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
what did the charts look like this week, man?
The charts are Morgan and Luke, Morgan and Luke, Morgan and Luke.
Yeah,
I know people are getting tired of this, but Morgan's album is number one again. It's number one on the Billboard 200 also again. So he's got the number one album in America for 2 straight weeks. Gabby retook the Hot Country song chart with I Hope again. I think it's her 25th week at number one. I think there's only been 2 songs in the history of country music hold the number one spot on the Hot Country chart longer. Body Like a Back Road and Cruise. I mean,
wow,
think about that. That's pretty crazy stuff for her coming right out of the gate
right out the
with
gate.
that debut single. And then the number one song at radio is "Better Together" by Luke Combs again, and he'll be number one again next week. So I mean, it's a juggernaut at radio.
Yeah, which we knew it would be.
Yeah, we knew it would be.
But I wanted to give a shout out though, Mr. Brandon Davis, who's a good friend of the show. He came
Oh
on
yeah,
for
tell us about this. This was huge news.
yeah, and if you guys are avid listeners of our pod, you'd know that Brandon came on a few episodes back and did an interview, and right now he's an independent up and coming country star, and he's just blown up all over social media. He hit 1 million on TikTok finally, which didn't take long after we talked with him.
Yeah,
And this past week, he just released his second single. It's called Step by Step. And it's kind of just a storytelling song about how he loves his kids, even though they're stepkids. And he looks at them as his own, and he's a father to them. And it's just a very good song. And it actually debuted number one all genre on iTunes.
Yeah,
which was
that's wild,
sweet.
man. Yeah,
So big kudos and congrats to Brandon. We couldn't be happier for you, man.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's all we've got for news out of Nashville this week. You want to go ahead and get Colby on the line?
Let's do it, man.
All right, we'll go ahead and give him a call. Guys, we'll catch you in just a few. And welcome back, guys. We are now joined by our special guest, who is an up-and-coming independent artist straight out of the mountains of North Idaho with true Southern roots that has a powerful storytelling voice. The gentleman released his debut album in 2020, Life of a Rolling Stone. Folks, I'd like to introduce Colby Acuff.
What's going on tonight, man?
Hey, man, it's been good. Can't complain.
Good, good. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight, man. We appreciate you taking the time to meet with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's my pleasure.
Most definitely. Well, Colby, tell us a little bit about your story, man. You're an up-and-coming artist out of Idaho. Tell us how you got there and, what's going on.
Well, truthfully, I've been doing music my whole life. Started playing piano when I was 5 and just kind of never stopped from there. Can't really remember a time where I wasn't in music, but, we got serious about it basically was right when I got out of college. I was doing some other things. I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet, but I was still playing in the band and play with a bass player he's been with me now for 3 or 4 years even. And we were talking about going on tour, just having a couple beers and kind of bullshitting about what the possibility could be if we wanted to go on tour. And we basically decided, well, we can't go on tour without an album. So in 2 months, we planned 2 tours and released an album called Life of a Rolling Stone. And that was about 370 days ago today.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome, man. And that album's doing pretty well for you, it looks like, based on the Spotify streams that I saw.
Yeah, and we had to cancel our tours, which sucked. We canceled about 100 shows last year, which was brutal. But, we got back out there about June. We got back out there. But, yeah, man, even without the tours, we got, we reached something like 50,000 people, and we got well over 100,000 plays. So, like I said, I'm just grateful to be here still, and even with this crazy year, I'm just excited that we got an opportunity to release another album.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And it's crazy. It sounds like you've been playing music since you were straight out of the womb, man. That's awesome.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about some of your musical influences. What kind of got you started in music and playing it at such a young age?
Well, it's kind of like, the story kind of goes like this. When I was born, I was, everything for me came late. Like I didn't have teeth or hair or any, like my mom took me to the doctor when I was 2 years old just to make sure that I had teeth.
Okay.
So everything was kind of a late bloomer. I was never that good at sports is what I'm getting at. It really wasn't worth a damn. I played sports, to hang out with my buddies, but I was never that athletic. So I kind of got into piano and stuff to just be well-rounded, and then I started playing drums, and then I could sing, and then it kind of took off from there. It's kind of always been what I was going to do,
Yeah, most definitely.
As far as, like, the influences and stuff, I grew up, my dad's a little bit older, so I grew up really, like, enjoying 50s rock and roll as well as, like, Flat and Scruggs, bluegrass, Hank Williams Sr., a lot of those older artists. And then my mom showed me a lot of, even my dad showed me like CCR and Oak Ridge Boys and some other guys. And then my mom introduced me a lot to even artists like Elton John, I think is a big influence early on in my life. But the Eagles and James Taylor and some other folks. And then just for me living, I'd probably say, like Eric Church, Tyler Childers, Colter Wall, Luke Combs. Those are just, the bigger names that most people know. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, when I was listening to your music this past week, it's funny you say that because the first names that popped into my mind were your voice has got. Obviously you're not. I don't think you're English, but there's a little Elton mixed into your voice. It's almost like country and Americana and Elton mixed together, which is a really unique sound.
Yeah, it's funny. I've actually never gotten that before, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorite '70s artists died early, Jim Croce. But some of your music's got
Croce,
a little,
yes.
got a little hit of his stuff mixed in with it.
I forgot to mention Jim Croce. Yeah, he was my number one listened to artist in 2019.
Are you serious? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I forgot
Those
to
were
mention
Elton
him.
John and Jim Croce were the two names that I thought of whenever I was listening to your stuff this week.
What a phenomenal songwriter. Jesus.
Yeah,
That guy
Yeah,
could
absolutely,
write.
man.
Whew.
most definitely. And actually, Colby, when I first checked you out when we first started chatting, I immediately got like Tyler Childers vibes from you. You know, not necessarily the same. Obviously, you have, like Chris mentioned, you have a very unique voice, but I just got those just real storytelling vibes from your music. So that was awesome, man.
Yeah, and that's really what we're shooting for. I think um, the thing I do respect the most, like Tyler Childers, huge influence, especially right before like Life of Rolling Stone came out. That whole album, that was kind of when I started getting into his music. And you know, he does exactly what I listened to him, and I thought, now that we can make it, if he can make it, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I thought that I was going to get pushed out of that country scene for so long, the way it was going. I'm like, there's no room for a guy like me
Mm-hmm.
who's not, doesn't have six pack abs and can't fit into a size 29 skinny jean. Like, and I can't, I write really honest songs that might, cut a little too deep for some people. And sometimes there's controversy in that. But I went and saw Tyler Childers live and I watched him. And I mean, the place was sold out way far beyond maximum limit.
Mm-hmm.
This is before COVID as well. So, but great show. And I got out of that and I thought, we can do this. We can definitely make this happen.
Yeah,
Heck
absolutely,
yeah.
man.
That's an awesome story, man. Definitely inspiring for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
right.
when you see people like Stapleton or Tyler and all these the different artists that have came out in the last 5 or 6 years that have not necessarily had to take the traditional path, it's really got to give everybody a little kick in the butt to let them know that like you said, that you can do it your way.
In this day and age, as an artist, you are so much more able to do it without a label. And like right now, the only
Yeah,
person that's freaking out is probably some of the labels, and that's okay. I mean, they held all the power for a long time, and now you can make it any way you really want to. Now, I'm not going to say that it definitely ain't easier without a label. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but but it's yours for sure.
Yeah. Put your mind to it and work for it. You can do anything, man, especially with just the power of social media these days, too. 'Cause, I
Right. And
mean,
like even Spotify as a platform is basically social media.
oh, yeah, most definitely. And I think I saw on your page you had like, what, 25,000 monthly listeners?
Yeah, and we've kind of gone up and down, I
I
mean,
mean, that's impressive, though, really. I mean, just for a guy, independent guy, just up and coming. I mean, that kind of blew me away when I saw that.
yeah, man, I mean, we found our successes and I'm super grateful and blessed for it. Um, I didn't know what the future is going to bring. I was pretty nervous for this year after, everything shut down and I didn't know how we were going to get out there, but we just kept working, kept with the positive stuff, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm absolutely blessed to be in the spot that we are right now.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Well, we talked about you not being good at sports, and we know that you're an up and coming artist. Tell us, Colby, what would you be doing if you weren't pursuing a career in country music?
Well, it just so happens that I work a few other jobs as well. I sell real estate, and I've done that since I was 18. Um, so I kind of did that for a career, and then I'm kind of now slipping out of it a little bit to try and chase this. Um, but there's another job that I love as well, and did it for a couple years. Actually, I'm still on staff, but I love being a fly fishing guide, man. I've it's one of my favorite pastimes is fly fishing. I decided to become a guide 2 years ago, and man,
Nice.
it's one of my favorite things to do.
you're in the good area out there for that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I mean we got wild native West Slope cutthroat out here where I'm from.
That's awesome. Well, Colby, I know before we went on the air tonight, you'd mentioned that you've played a few shows this week. What are some of your, and I know you haven't had a chance to really tour because the tour canceled, but where are some of the favorite venues you've played so far, and do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, so like right now it's been kind of fun because we're kind of getting into some newer places that I haven't played before. It's just people, venues, however they want to run their own business, I totally respect. But also there's like some people right now that are, going for it and they're going to open up live music, and so we're going to go play some different places, which is fun. I'm playing a show tomorrow night that I've never played there before, and it's going to be an absolute hoot. But there's one place, I love playing in Moscow, where I went to college. It's University of Idaho's down there. There's a little place called Boosters. It's like a little coffee shop. She was one of the very first people to give me a shot when I went down there.
Nice.
And so it's a coffee shop that sells beer. And when we go there once a month, it is really beer heavy. Not much coffee is served that night, and it's really fun. We kind of turn it into a dive bar. It's a good time.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a great time. Sounds like something Chris and I have been missing out on.
We're gonna have to
Yeah,
we're gonna have to venture out that way, Joey.
I'm telling you.
come out west, boys.
And we may need to if things don't straighten up around here, man. I'm telling you, but but yeah. So speaking of just your music in general, you've got a new project coming up next month on February 15th. If I Were the Devil, what was the creative process like making that second album, and what can your fans expect from this album?
Well, I'm super excited about this project. I mean, when we released Life of Rolling Stone, we had zero expectations. I was like,
Hmm.
screw it. Like, let's put it out. It's a product that we're going to tour on. Let's see what it does. Without the tour, it became a brand. It became, what it is. And so it's kind of built this base for us now. And so now it's like, all right, we got to step it up, boys. Like, we got a second album. We got a second shot at greatness here. So we better hit it right on the money. And so when I sat down, I have a song bank that I've written, just songs I've accumulated over time. And that has about 50 songs in it.
Hmm.
And but I sat down and I wrote most of these songs in this year because this year brought so many crazy new experiences, um, that I just couldn't not write about it. And
Yeah.
the whole album is way more mature than our last album, and that's the best way I can describe it. It just is more mature, and it's a little bit deeper, and it's kind of just a reflection album on the year and myself as what I'm gonna be.
Nice. Yeah. And I
Nice.
mean, I've seen some teaser clips on your social media of If I Were the Devil. And I mean, just from what I've heard, man, that sounds awesome. And I can't wait for this project. I think it's going to be big for you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so funny because everyone wants that song, and I love how we did it, and like the project's awesome, but there are so many songs on this album that I love.
Yeah.
So, definitely when you get the album, take your time and go through those songs because there's a ton of good stuff on there. 10 songs on there, and there's so many good songs on there. I'm super excited.
That's cool, man. Where'd you record at? What was the recording process like?
So we recorded in the same place that we recorded our first album. A guy named Kyler Darren out of Boise, Idaho. He runs the Den Studios down there. And I actually met him at a bachelor party. Super cool dude. And I told him, I said, hey, I want to be an up and coming artist. And we sat by the fire and drank for a little bit and kind of got to talking. And 3 months later, I'm down in Boise recording Life Rolling Stone with him. So it was kind of a no brainer. We were going to use him again, and he's just a great producer. Um, but so we have drums, mandolin, guitar, three sets of vocals, bass, electric guitar, and piano on this next coming project, which our first project
Mm,
only had guitar, bass, piano, and guitar, or electric guitar.
yeah.
But this second project, we use the same three guys. So we still have the same three guys playing all these instruments.
That's awesome, man. And
That's
I
some
was going to
talented
say,
guys right there.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to mention earlier, I forgot the instrumentation on that first project was awesome, man. I love that. And just how it's kind of like stripped down a little bit, your voice. It's not overproduced at all or anything to make it,
Right.
just overproduced. I mean, it's got a really good sound to it. So, yeah, he did a great job with that first project and couldn't be more excited for the second one for you.
Yeah, and this second project, because there was, like we're adding more. So I bought a mandolin and learned how to play it and retaught myself how to play drums to get ready for this whole thing. And when we got down there, I had planned to play mandolin and drums on every track. So I had like everything I'd been practicing and everything was ready to go. But then we got to some songs and I'm like, take the drums out because that is kind of a part of our original sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're good at expressing dynamic and emotion with just what we do in general. Like it's nice to have on some of the faster songs and stuff that needs that punch to have the drums and the mandolin and have that little extra production value, that maturity that second project needed. But at the same time, like we have a lot of songs on there that really do throw it back to that stripped down, super raw sound that we did on our first album.
That's great, man. Absolutely. And to the listeners tonight, guys, we're going to go ahead and play a clip of one of the songs off Colby's debut album. It's The Life of a Rolling Stone. So we'll go ahead and play that for you, and we'll be back in just a moment. I'm not known to stay very long, just about the duration of old Jimmy Rogers' song. I've been known to gamble, drinking bars, catch myself in neon tan, following this guitar. And I've gone by many names, but not like my father or the Bible one eyes gave. But it's all the same. Four white walls and damn good crowds, and life in the fast lane. It feels so strange, walking around singing the blues. People know my name. Back on the road, headed down to El Paso. That's the way it goes in the life of a rolling stone. All right, guys, we're back, and that was Colby's title track off his debut album, Life of a Rolling Stone. Amazing song.
Colby, I just wanted to mention to you. I mean, the very first time that I heard the title track there, within 10 or 15 seconds, you talk about Jimmy Rogers, and for people that love the history of country music, for you to drop that name, where did kind of what was the inspiration behind that? And I mean, that really, your style is so, I mean, it could fit into almost any era, going all the way back to Jimmy Rogers. So I just thought that was such a cool drop there.
Well, I mean, that's a huge compliment, man. Thank you. Because I mean, for me, it's like that's really what we're going for. And I love what you just said though about how you can fit into the genre at any point in time, because that is something that we didn't even try to do, but I also now hear that, and I think it's a part of our music that makes us really unique comparatively maybe to other people out there trying to do something similar.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that being said, I'm a huge country music history buff. I mean, just love it. I know it backwards and forwards. And it's really important for me for people for people to not forget where we came from and how did we get here and what changed things and how is it different and why. Um, and so for me, it's like I just, you know, Jimmy Rogers, he's one of the very first people that built a foundation for me. He did that so I can do that today. So that song is just me comparing my life. It has a lot of hints to Hank Sr. and Jimmy and some other guys, but it's just like Life Rolling Stone is not just about me. It's not just about Hank. It's about all of the people before me and doing it, and people even after me that we basically all walk the same shoes or all walk the same road and walk in each other's shoes at some point in the life of a Rolling Stone.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely, man.
I love that.
And I know it's the title track and everything, but that is probably one of my favorites off that first project. Most
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
it's one of my favorite songs I ever wrote.
You guys go check out that debut album as well. It's an awesome one if you guys haven't had a chance to listen to it. It is Life of a Rolling Stone on all major streaming platforms. And while you're there, make sure you guys pre-save that new album, If I Were the Devil. You can actually find it. It's in your bio on Instagram, right, Colby? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if you guys want to pre-save the new album, you can either go to my Instagram bio. You can go to colbyacuff.com. You can go to my Facebook. You can find it on any social media platform that I'm there. The link will be there, uh, as well as my website, colbyacuff.com.
Right. And your Instagram and TikTok, correct me if I'm wrong, Colby_Acuff is where they can find you.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yep.
Perfect. Well, man, I always like to ask some kind of fun questions on the show when we've got guests. So,
Let's make it fun. I'm about
yeah,
it.
tell me some of the best advice that you've ever been given.
Um, Probably my favorite advice that I've ever been given is I was playing in Montana. There's some phenomenal musicians that I've played with over the years, and this guy named Elliot Stroman, he was out of Billings, kind of a small town out of Billings, but just absolutely phenomenal piano player, honky tonk piano player, big dude, funny, awesome guy. But we were sitting down one day, we were at like a big jam session that they do every year, and he's talking about how we had a couple beers maybe, but he was talking about how, you know, I was only like probably 19 or so, maybe 20, 21. I don't really know. But he was talking about how the most important thing is that when you're doing this or doing anything, you try to be loyal, honest, keep your humility. Remember the
Mm,
people on the way up because you're going to probably see them on the way back down as well.
yeah.
Um, and his final thing was like, when they put you in the ground at the end of the day, what do you want on your tombstone? And I was like, I don't know, like something cool. He goes, well, if you did it right, all you need is your name and people will still show up.
Man, that's deep.
That's true.
Very true, though.
Yeah. And so that's kind of, I kind of try to live my life like that every day. I kind of think of it that way. Like, you don't need to tell everybody that I was a good person. I just want my name to prove it.
Most definitely, man. That's awesome advice. Heck yeah. It sounds like you're implementing it and doing well, though, man. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Try,
Yeah,
but we're all humans.
for sure, man. That is the truth. Now, Colby, obviously you're proving that you don't need the major label to make a way or make a name for yourself, right? So, if you could change one thing about the industry, what would that be?
The number one thing I would change probably would just be how they manipulate the spotlight and how country music. I mean, it's not like it's a secret. Country music has a huge influx of pop right now,
Mm-hmm.
and pop is, it's pop country. It's a thing, but it's kind of taking over. The crossover stuff is really taking over country music,
Yeah.
and I think the subgenreing is also what's killing country music. Like people who are really singing country music right now are being subgenred as Americana or something outside of country music. So if you look up country music, I won't show up, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
And that is something I would like to change. I the label's their business. I get it, man. Like I'm not gonna, and I'm never gonna take anything away from anybody. How you made it, it's how you make it. It's once you're there, what you're gonna do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you make it and you're under a label, that's fine. That's awesome. But don't look like a total asshole when you get there, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are crawling around on the bottom that would kill for that opportunity. And here you are, you had it, and you're just kind of going backwards. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a few things I would change, but overall, I think everything that is changing, like having Spotify and all these streaming platforms and everything else, like that's better for an independent artist. So the way it's changing right now, I mean, it's kind of in our favor.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah, for
you.
sure. Yeah.
And especially with names like Childers, Cody Jinks, guys like that that don't
Hmm.
necessarily have a major Nashville label behind them that are just crushing it and have rabid fan bases that support them. They sell out shows and the streams are there. So I mean, you can pave your own way in today's world. It's just putting in the work like you talked about earlier, and definitely something that's attainable.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing I noticed the most though about these independent artists is fan bases for independent artists are so much stronger. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, look at Sturgill Simpson's fan base.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Those
yeah.
people, I mean, I'm one of them. I love Sturgill.
Oh yeah.
And people will do anything for Sturgill Simpson. And there's a ton of them. But, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists, I mean, I don't really want to throw a bunch of, artists out, but I do feel like maybe a Luke Bryant, like a super Luke Bryant fan, maybe would only go because his concerts are fun and it's
Hmm.
not, and they've heard his songs on the radio versus like that song maybe didn't get them through like heartbreak or maybe it wasn't played at their wedding or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that because Joey and I went to a acoustic jam over in Kentucky a couple weekends ago, and we were talking after the show. You know, there were, like you said, we're not going to drop names or anything, but there were 4 or 5 huge acts that have had multiple number ones, and they would struggle to sell smaller venues out because the people just aren't necessarily connected to that music. It's like it's fun music, it's good background music, people like the music, but they're not connected to that music. And I think for people like Tyler and Sturgill and people along those lines, every single one of their fans are diehard fans.
Right. And that's, I think to me, that's the key. That's what you got to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
with you. And you've even got guys that maybe do have the label Eric Church that kind of still do it their own
Yes.
way, that don't cave to what the label wants, and they don't have the most number one singles, but he's still selling out arenas, breaking attendance records at Nissan Stadium, and just a
Yeah. I mean,
insane fan base. The church choir is crazy. I mean, I'm in that. I'm a
dude, I've
choir
been a
member.
church choir boy. I've been a
Yeah,
choir man since I was 11, 12. I've seen him 5 times. And out west, that's tough to do.
yeah.
Um, but man, his everything I do in my live show, I've taken pretty much from him. I mean, he is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's the best.
Oh, dude, he's, let's just say it like it is. He is badass, and
Hell yeah,
live,
he is, man.
dude. Live,
Oh,
he
he
is
is.
unmatched live, in my opinion. I mean, I've been to a ton. I've seen the Luke Bryans, Jason Aldean's, Garth, Luke Combs, and I love, all those guys. But nothing beats a church show, man. It's incredible.
No, it's the best thing ever. And like, I remember when Church was maybe the first person where I was like, okay, maybe we also have a shot. And then it kind of got weird again. Then Tyler Childers was the next guy that I was like, oh, we can definitely do this. But
Hmm.
like, you listen how Eric Church talks about the music business and how he views it. Basically, it'd be the same thing we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the way he talks about it is so in line with what I want to do. I
Hmm.
mean, he's had the right idea from day one.
Yeah. And not to get too off topic here, but what's crazy about Eric is if you've like looked into like and you're a country music history guy, so you probably already know this, but like when he went to Nashville, he just wanted to write. He didn't even want to perform. He didn't want to sing, and
Right.
to see the career and empire under his name that he's built is just incredible, and a testament to that.
Hey, it's however you make it, and usually, you know, you got to be something. Sometimes you got to make that decision. I think 90% of people in this world don't understand when opportunity's knocking, and they don't answer the door. And that
Hmm.
10% that do answer the door change your life.
Yeah,
that's
most
right, man.
definitely, most definitely. Well, Colby, obviously the new project's dropping on February 15th on all major streaming platforms. You've got some shows coming up, but what's next after that project, man?
So we're gonna drop the album, and fingers crossed. Hopefully it goes really well. And then we're going to be playing a ton around inland Northwest, kind of over here. Playing a bunch of shows through Idaho, hopefully Montana, maybe even some, maybe down in Wyoming, and if we can get into Washington, we'll do some of those as well. But a lot of Idaho shows. And then next fall, man, yeah, I'm kind of itching to head down Tennessee, maybe.
Heck yeah, man. We'll have to stay up with you, man, because Chris and I will travel for some good music, man. So we'll come see it.
If you're going to be anywhere near Tennessee, we'll definitely come check it out.
Oh yeah, most
well,
definitely.
I mean, shouldn't say too much because it's not set in stone. But kind of thinking about, kind of just planning is so, like, you just can't plan like you used to, right? You can't plan 6 months out in advance to do anything.
Right.
So we're just gonna kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But kind of planning on maybe getting the old tour bus and driving from Idaho to Tennessee and playing the whole way down and back.
That would be awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Because we're all itching for some live music over here on this side of the country, man. I know you guys have had some shows like we talked about, but where I'm at in Ohio, man, it's been slim pickings for some music. So we're ready to move past this and get back to some live entertainment.
Well, it's due time I make my way east. It's due time.
Yeah, come on out, man. I'm sure there's somewhere around here that will host you that's probably itching for some music too.
I love it.
But yeah, thanks so much, man, for coming on. You got any
we
words?
really appreciate it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. It was a great time.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Before we end tonight, I got a couple things, but what's one message that you've got to your fans that you currently have, and to any new fans that may be coming your way after listening in tonight?
Well, I mean, the first thing is thank you. I mean, I'm just a small town Idaho boy that has been doing this my whole life and just wanted a little bit more than being a local guy. So, anyone that was listening, sharing, and also reach out to me, please. Like, if you're a fan and I don't know who you are, message me on Instagram, reach out to me on TikTok, because I love meeting people that I haven't met yet and where you're from. And, hopefully I can be near your hometown in 6-7 months, or that's the kind of stuff that I'm really itching for. So first of all, I guess it'd be thank you. Second of all, if you like the stuff, reach out, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And to get back into like the social media thing, that's such an awesome thing that you're doing with wanting to connect with your fans, because I think that's huge. That builds a strong fan base. And take Colby up on that, guys. He's super interactive on social media. Go check him out. Go send him a message. Let him know what you think about the music. But, yeah. So, I mean, that's all I've got. Colby, Chris, you guys got any final thoughts for the show tonight?
No. I mean, just really appreciate you coming on. We love catching you early, because when you're huge, we're gonna be able to replay this interview and impress people.
You can have me back.
Oh, we're definitely gonna have you back on.
If we do something big, don't worry, I'll be coming back either way.
Absolutely, awesome, man. Shoot,
can you guys believe that shit?
No, even if not, man, which it will happen for you, because we're super confident in your ability, because you got an awesome voice, man. You got a great personality. You've got the right mindset, so there's only big things coming for you. But we definitely would love to sit down and chat with you again, and it's been a real pleasure getting to talk to you and getting to meet you, man.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the hell out of it, guys. Anytime you want me back, you just go ahead and let me know. I'll be honored.
Absolutely. And guys, like I mentioned earlier, make sure you guys check him out on social media. His Instagram and TikTok are at Colby_Acuff. He's streaming on all major platforms. Go pre-save that new album that's dropping on February 15th. And while you're at it, check us out on social media. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Just search Bro Country Podcast. And as always, guys, until next time, keep it country and take care of each other.
But it's all the same. 4 wide walls and damn good crowds, life in the fast lane. It feels so strange, walking around singing the blues. People know my name. Back on the road, soul. That's the way it goes in the life of a rolling stone. Well, my mama called me up the other day. She had a worry in her voice, and I assured her I'd be okay. And that night when I sat down to pray, whiskey hard on my breath, I heard I saw the light play. In the mirror all I see is a ghost. Never mind, it's just me, the man I miss the most. But it's all the same. It's hey there halls, lovesick blues, and stumbling my ass off stage. It feels so strange. It's Elijah, you're cheating hard, Miss Audrey calling my name. Back on the road, got a two-night show down to below. That's the way it goes.